Good morning, Central Texas. Welcome to Kids Community Connections at My Kids 103.1. This is Phyllis Jones, your host. Guess what? I'm not your guest this weekend. I'm sorry. I know. Every now and then, I have to pop up and get a guest too. But this time, I have some friends on here. And, rarely do I say the word friends. Usually I say I have guests. But, I have friends. And they're both more than friends. We kind of connect on a whole bunch of levels because we have this thing that we can do. It's called the look, when you have friends and y'all have that look, y'all can look at each other in a certain way and you already know that it's up or down, kind of roll up sleeves and get that walk, those kind of friends. So, I'm just saying those kind of friends I got on here this morning. But anyway, last week I had two guests and I'm going to have to say her name because y'all know it's killing me to say nicknames. It's just like, woo. But Pokey and Brian, they were on the show last week, and they're the ones that's doing the march next Saturday. Whoops, I forgot the date, so I'm glad that I got it in my hand, the 23rd. They're doing the march, and it's Take the Streets Back. And what they're saying by taking the streets back is, no, they didn't give the streets away, but crime has taken the streets. So, every now and then we do have to stand up when things happen, and we have to do something about it. The good thing is that march did get improved. The bad thing is they had to go through some hurdles to get it approved. And one, I commend them because they stayed for the task. A lot of people would have said, okay, fine, we forget this. They're going to fight me. But they fought back. And I want you to know our city, the lovely city of Killeen, wanted to alter their route so much till they were going to have them walk on the sidewalks from Bridgewood Apartments on Hallmark to Conda Park on the sidewalk. And then they were going to have to go knock on every door to ask permission from everybody in order to do this, right? Insane. Correct. It is insane. But our city was going to that length to try to stop this march. But guess what? It didn't happen. It did not happen. The march is going to take place next Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. in front of the Bridgewater Apartments on Hallmark. People can park in the 7-Eleven on the corner of Fort Hood Road and Hallmark, but don't park in the 7-Eleven parking lot. Park behind the 7-Eleven, and they're letting people park there. They have commuter routes to take people back around again. They thought of everything. But the march will start there. And like I said, it's going to end at Conda Park, and then they're going to transport people to the community center. So if you don't want to walk or can't walk and you want to join the rest of the event, you can go to the community center and do so. But like I said, I commend them for staying to task. For, like I said, a lot of people would have been like, you know what, it's not even worth it no more. I'm going home and I'm just going to fuss. Well, they didn't. They stayed. Now they were fussing, but they stayed the task, and they refused to let all the little things those little roadblocks that's coming your way. Instead of letting those roadblocks stop them, they kicked the roadblocks aside and said, "We're going to do this regardless. We're going to do this anyway." So I commend them, and I need us all to, if you can, show up, because you're not showing. Now let's get it straight. You're not supporting them. Remember that. You're not supporting them. You're supporting the cause. And the cause is to stop the violence. And I don't know why our city of Killeen, or any city in the United States, or any city in Texas, would try to roadblock it. Because obviously the police can't do this by themselves. They need the community to do it. So when the community comes together to try to do it, I think, just, my brain said that they should have the full community support, meaning all those people that we call city council. That I said we call them city council because I don't know who they really are. But all those people that we call city council should have been backing them 150%. They should have been in the audience saying, hey, listen, wow, what's going on? Right. But they didn't. And, we got 7 of them. 7 who's supposed to be individualized thinkers. And so, once you remember, if I got 7 people, they're supposed to be 7 individualized speakers, individualized. Only person asked a question was 1. And the question a certain councilwoman asks is, what date did you file a petition? I mean, what date did you file this paperwork? Now, all this, I'm going to say the word, hell they were going through to get this. Mm-hmm. You asked, what date did y'all submit the paperwork? For real? Seriously? You could have shut up for that fact. But anyway, the march is going to go head on. So I'm glad that they are not stopping. And is this going to be the first one? No. So if you do miss it, you have another one and another one and another one. Because guess what? We can't stop with the first one. So that's all I want to say about that, to let everybody know. You can go on my Facebook page, KISS Community Connections, Community Connections, and you'll see I'll have the route on there, and I'll have the flyer on there also, so that we can keep on and do this and get it right. Now to my guest. My guest is, good morning, Yvonne.
Good morning, everybody. How are you?
And good. And good morning, Phoenix.
Good morning.
She was hoping she wasn't going to say nothing. I don't know why people come on the show and think they're not going to talk.
I know I have to talk.
Okay, what we got going on?
You want to start, Yvonne? Okay. Okay, I'll start.
Okay.
Well, first, I am Phoenix J. Marai. I am a Reiki master teacher and the founder of Il Asha, which is an outreach program where women, men, or children are able to go through a 9-month program of rebirthing themselves from the inside out, from any type of trauma, any type of illness. We deal with PTSD, MS. We've dealt with divorce, sexual assault, suicide prevention. So we have 4 women out of the House of Il Asha that are coming together with 2 different books. One of the books is from the anthology From Grief to Grind, Where Do I Go? So myself, Cassandra Owens, and Brandy Mitchell are in that book. Where did I go? Oh my gosh, it's so many. Like, I was like, am I saying the right book? No, Where Did I Go? And again, we have Yvonne, which is a part of another anthology that will be with us as well. So I will let her speak for the anthology that she's in.
Okay, wait. Before you get to there, you mentioned a word that everybody might not be familiar with. I know Phoenix looking at me like, what the world are you talking about? And you mentioned Reiki.
Oh, Reiki.
Okay, Reiki. Okay. So I even say it wrong. I know what it is. You know what it is. But everybody else doesn't know what it is.
Okay.
So can you go back and just explain what that is?
Okay.
Because if you explain it, then we understand it. Then more people will get it and show up and all those good things.
Okay. Well, Reiki is a hands-on technique that actually came from the Egyptians, but is known in Japan by Master Yusa. And what we do with Reiki is you are able to get to know yourself through your 7 chakras, which are your 7 pinwheels within your body. And each one of those pinwheels holds feelings, emotions. They help you to think. They will help you to make decisions. So as a Reiki master, I am a spiritual guide, you can say. I help you to spiritually guide yourself to a better place of peace, joy, and happiness. Without medication, we do a lot of meditation. So that's the thing that I say, we go from medication to meditation. So those are a couple of things that we do as well.
Good, because like I said, some people, you said it and they go, what?
Right. Who is that? Ricky? Did she say? I know Ricky.
And where do I go? And some people don't understand that you do need it.
Yes.
Because I'll say for me, people think I'm weird, but I am weird. I don't admit that.
But we love you.
But when I get home from work, for the first hour I'm home, I don't want nobody to talk to me. Mm-hmm. I don't want nobody to look at me. My phone could ring and I don't know. I don't pay attention to it. But I don't want nothing. Nothing. I want to be in the dark. Just chill. Just for the first hour. That's it. So, You were home, y'all home. But it's one of those things that I do, and it gets me back into my space, and it helps out my day. Because I find if I don't do it, then the rest of my day is jacked up. I mean, the rest of my evening is jacked up, and I get nothing done correctly. And then I start doing the spacey things. I'll start doing this over here, then I'll put it over there, then I'm staying right there, and I never get nothing accomplished because that one part didn't happen.
Yes, that's one of the things I love about Reiki. So, yeah. It totally, I don't like to say control, but it helps you to have better control. Yeah, it does help you have better control of your day and then of yourself. So in 2017, I experienced a nervous breakdown, and I didn't know where I was going. Reiki was introduced to me, and here it is 2 years later. I'm nowhere close to that woman that I was. My anger, I'm not as angry as I used to be. I'm not as depressed as I used to be. I can actually go outside to Walmart and not be afraid that somebody is going to snatch me or touch me, because of my sexual assault. So it has really helped me to become a better person, not just for me, but for my space in the world. Right. Because I'm just a person that's in this big world that lives in worlds with everybody else. So inside my world, I keep my space peaceful, my sage, my candles, but somebody else's space may not be that same way. Right. So it helps me to help us to protect ourselves even from those people that don't walk like us. So it's a great thing. I love it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Yvonne.
Hi, everybody. My name is Yvonne Tijerina, and I am part of the anthology of God of a Second Chance. I am chapter 3, and my chapter is Ride or Die for Toxic or Freedom. I have completed the 9-month Reiki program that I did with Miss Phoenix, and when I came into doing it, I don't want to say fast track, but I was already in a lot of it, where Reiki helps you to learn yourself better. That's what the course I had set myself on. So it helped me to kind of weed out other things that needed to be weeded out. Because with Reiki, when you're learning yourself, you got to go back and get to the root, and you got to dig that root out. So it helped me get back to the root to find out why I had some of the issues I had, why I felt the way I felt on some things. So it really just helps to really guide you to be the person you're supposed to be. And it's a spiritual thing. It's not a religious thing. Right. Like, it doesn't matter what religion you practice, you can do Reiki. And like what I tell people when you say, well, what's meditation? It's nothing but prayer. So at my house, what I've come to tell them, meditational prayer, to help them be able to grasp that a little bit better. So when you're meditating, you're praying. And to be able to pray without putting God in a box. There's no confinement to it. Right. There's no limits whatsoever, and you're able to just speak to the Creator flat out. You don't feel, well, I have to do it this way or that way. It's your relationship, your communication with Him and with yourself, knowing yourself and listening to yourself, because you have to know yourself before you can do anything out there in the world and help anybody else. So it has been a wonderful journey. It really has. When I first started, I was nervous about doing it because I was worried about what other people were going to say. Right. But as I gained more understanding about me, it doesn't matter what no one else has to say, because I know me and understand what I'm supposed to do. So it just moved. And now with my sisters, or my sisters is what we call ourselves, my sisters, it's wonderful. You have that communication, that, like you said earlier, that look, that's how we are. You would have thought we all came from the whole same household. We just have that connection, right, because we have decided that what we have gone through, it may have helped build us to what we are, but it does not confine us. It does not control us. We are not broken pieces. We are one whole piece, and we're going to do what we have to do.
It's true. When you talk about that, first of all, for me, meditation is running water.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go into my state of relaxation, I'm at a waterfalls.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking. I'm not saying nothing to nobody.
Right.
I'm just at a waterfalls because for me, that's just the water hitting the rocks is relaxing. It sounds weird, maybe, but
No, it's not.
No. Mine's just the beach.
I was about to say, anybody that has been a part of any session with me, they understand that because we go to the beach.
Yes.
It's they're running. It's standing behind the waterfalls and just watching it go down there, which is really cool. And I say the job that I have, because I work with special needs 4-year-olds.
Yes.
I need the waterfalls and everything.
Yes, we need everything. We need the campsites, the marshmallows.
But also when you learn to meditate and relax, and you rejoin the world that you temporarily left, it affects how you walk, but it affects also how you engage.
Yes.
Because I'll attempt to join something, but after I get there, I realize that my shoulders don't feel right, and my neck don't feel right.
Right.
So I turn around and walk away, and people go, "What happened to so-and-so?" She just left. Why? Don't nobody know. Well, they don't know. And if I tell you, it didn't feel right, people would think that you're judging them. When what it is your space in there. You didn't have a space in there.
That's right.
You were interjecting yourself into a space that wasn't yours.
It helps you, Reiki helps you balance
so,
the energy.
So you learned that. So you learned that this space is not mine. So I might need to support it, but I don't need to be a part of it.
Right.
So you walk away, and when you do that, you have to be strong enough to actually walk away.
Yeah.
But meditation to me helps with that, because I've joined some things, and all of a sudden I was like, this is not me. I think if I'm sitting somewhere and I'm looking around back and forth, I'm realizing that this is cool for these groups, but it's not cool for me. So I need to take myself out because it's not mine. And I realize that when you watch people, I'm coming to this. I'm going to stay the truth. And you realize, you're like, do you really
understand what that entails?
Yeah.
Like,
all
do
of
you
that.
Is your energy ready for that? Are you
Yeah.
really ready? You have to really, really balance out your energy and know when to pull back.
Right.
And you have to be careful about taking on other people's energy.
That's it.
And not letting their negative energy consume you, because when you're around other folks, you take on that energy that they're putting out. And people say, "Oh, that's weird." No, it's not. It's science. It's a fact. Energy is everywhere. Yeah. And so you have to learn how to feel and read that energy. And when you feel some kind of way, when you feel that negative for it, you need to pull back, because then you have to go back home and meditate longer because you decided to stand there
and be somewhere.
And so now you got to sit there and talk to the creator, talking about, you told me to move, but I just didn't want to. So now I got to sit here and pray longer.
But you know what also it is too, and they're a different form of energy, totally. Yes. And what I mean is the kids I work with special kids.
Right.
If you walk into our room, and those of us who are in the room, we do it too. And people don't realize we do what we do. But if one of you two walked into our room and none of our boys walked up to you or shied away from you, we would all judge you differently. Because they have a sense that we don't have.
Exactly.
So if they don't run up to you, we'll be like, oh, well, let's see. We're going to say, hey, how you doing? But at the back part, we're like, what's wrong with you?
What kind of energy you bring?
What's going on? What's really going on with you? Now, they run up to you, we'd be like, okay, they cool.
Right.
But, people have came into our room, and they all just sit there. And we're looking at them. The nosiest ones in our room, and 4-year-olds are nosy.
Yes, they are. Oh my goodness.
Yes, they are.
And we got some boys that love to hug on you and just love to grab you. Aww. But when they all sit there and look at you, and we looking at you, we were like, okay, this is.
Somebody gets to sage their energy out.
We're like, this is something wrong up in here, because they're not gravitating toward the person. We're forcing them to say, you can say good morning. No. And they'll say no, and they're right to say no, but actually, we'll say, no, it's polite. We'll just say it's nice. We never say you have to. We just say it's nice to say good morning. Because we're realizing at that point, They're not saying no to be mean. They're saying no because they're not taking on your energy that you deliver into them. They're not taking it. So they'll shut down. No, I'm not saying nothing. And you're like, wow. You know, to yourself, you're like, dang, you tough. But I said, we'll say it's nice to say good morning. It's nice, but they got the same energy that we have, but we just don't pay attention to it.
We ignore it.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed, my granddaughter, she's 3, and I've started Reiki with her. So there's certain things that she understands and she knows.
Right.
So she was here like just a couple of weeks ago, and when she got here, I could sense there was a frustration energy on her. She has 2 younger brothers. She's only 3, but she's going on 45.
Okay.
And but she has 2 younger brothers, and I guess she just feels like her whole world is in a chaos because she got these 2 extra people in her life. So she was just being a little outraged at home. So she just needed to come and be with Dee Dee for a little bit to, assess her little energy. So she gets to the house, and I have a gong like as soon as you walk in that you hit.
Right.
And she came and she said, "Oh, I gotta hit it, Dee Dee. I have to hit it." And so she gets the thing and she hits it, and she hits it 3 times. And then she goes, like I'm looking at her like, "Are you serious?" And so she goes to my room, and my altar is up higher this time, so she can't get it. So she was looking for my stones. She wanted the sage. She was like, I need to do my stones. And I was like, "No, baby, it's okay. I can teach you how to do it. You don't have to always have your stones. Like, I can teach you how to do it." But she knows how to meditate. Good. She was doing her little yoga poses. She's like, "Look, Dee Dee." I was like, "Okay, so you're going to be in kindergarten teaching mindful meditation and yoga." Like, you know what I mean? Like, this teacher going to be like, "What?" She's going to come together, please. Let's all center. Like, I'm just grateful that she has that. And like you said, children know because as I'm learning, what we go through at Reiki, Carl Jung calls it a Kundalini awakening. That's what he calls it. Right. But in science, everybody thought Carl Jung was crazy because, he was friends with Sigmund Freud. So, of course, those 2 were not the 2 that you wanted to listen to when it comes to psychology and science. But come to find out, both of them were very smart, and they understood exactly what was going on with the brain. Because in the Kundalini awakening, the right side of your brain wakes up, where some of us are only left side. We only operate out of our left side of our brain. We operate on the right side, but it's kind of here and there. But when you have a Kundalini awakening, you have balanced your brain, your left side and the right side of your brain, where you're able to walk and grow the way you're supposed to. So when these children come to us, they are pure. Like, they have everything that has never been tainted. So what they sense is that awakening that adults have again. Right. Because as kids, by the time we 4 and 5, people tell you, don't do this, don't do that. You can't say this. Kids not supposed to do this. Sit over there. So you become an adult, and what do? You get in the corner. You don't say nothing. You do exactly what you were taught as a child. So until you become aware that, wait a minute, somebody has practically taught me to be a puppet, you know what I mean? Right. And I'm really not operating out of my own brain, out of my own self. I'm operating out of what somebody else has told me to do. So I just appreciate the children, because once we grow back, as it said, you can't go back into your mom's womb to be rebirthed, but there is a rebirthing that can be done. So that's what we do. We just become children again as adults, actually. So.
And learn to relax.
And learn to relax.
Because kids do it so well. They just especially, well, I have an autistic daughter, so they do it real good. Like, my daughter does. Like, she be upset and then get her calmed down. You be like, you would never know she was upset. I'm good now, Mom. Okay. Like, just so peaceful. And I'm like, I wish I could do that.
Autistic children have the other unique thing. They can just shut down.
Shut down.
Oh, she does that too.
No, but the thing is, they shut down and don't care.
Mm-hmm.
We shut down and wonder.
Yeah, oh my gosh, what did I do? We shut down.
They shut down.
We shut down and wonder. Wait a minute, hold am I losing my mind?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
shut down, let it go.
And they shut down. They shut down, and you're like, well, dang.
Is she gonna talk to me? It's been a whole week.
Mm-hmm. And you ask them to get about it again. It's like,
and they don't care.
Well, we went through that. That's over.
Mm-hmm.
We're moving forward. Mama, why we talk about that? It's just like, why can't we take that and understand? Sometimes it's really what you need to do with stuff. Just bloop up. Okay, we did that. It's over. Let's move on, and continue to move. We get so wrapped up in what we possibly could have done or should have done that we just don't move past what we did and keep going. We get all those stumbling blocks. And what I've found in writing my chapter and going through the 9 months is that you really have to let go of those stumbling blocks. It's like, why hold on to it? It helped build you where you are. You learned something. Now take what you learned and activate it, and don't be ashamed to. Don't worry about people not getting you and understanding. They're not going to get it because half of their brain is still shut off, so they're not going to get it. And then everybody understands things differently. Everybody's not going to catch things the same time you do. They're going to catch it a different way. But once y'all are on the same wavelength, you'll know because you'll join up. It's like the universe will just move folks and people and things right to you. You don't have to go searching for it and chase it. I talk about in my chapter how just be lined up.
Right.
Just be lined up with what the Creator has for you. Just be lined up for it. Don't go, oh, we got to run over here and get it. No, just be lined up. And as you're walking, it's going to be right there. It'll be like care packages. Bloop, right there. Bloop.
And also you learn through meditation, and I'll say meditation because that's, word I use, that you can walk alone.
Ooh.
Yes. Yeah. And don't be afraid to walk alone.
My father.
You can walk alone, and if you're walking alone the right way, you don't end up alone because the group eventually follows you because they realizing that with the energy you must have, they have it too, so they will begin to follow you. And you turn around and you started out alone, but you turn around and there's a group behind you waiting for you to say, hey, I'm here too. Don't forget me. I'm over here too. But you learn that it's okay to walk alone. And with Phyllis, I just touched a nerve with her because I too had to learn. I'll walk alone in a heartbeat now, and I don't even care. I'm fine with it. I'll do something. Everybody, why are you doing this? I'll drop off and explain it to you once. If you don't get it the first time I explain it to you, forget you, and I'm going to keep on moving forward. But meditation and knowing yourself teaches you to walk alone because a lot of us can't do that. A lot of us, when we walk and take that first step, we need 5 people to hold our hand. Yeah. And if they ain't holding our hand, we can't go. We stand there, well, I can't. You learn that. And with me, if I shut down, people should worry. If I'm not talking to people for a few days, everybody should worry because I'm planning.
Scorpio. We plotting.
I am planning to execute something. And I'm going to call and say, hey, I'm not going to say what you think about it because I don't care what you think about it because I'm strong enough to walk by myself. But I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. If you want to come on, you come on. If you don't want to come on, see you later. Goodbye. I got time for you. Take you forward. But through meditation, and I'll say Reiki, and tapping.
Yes.
You do learn to do things yourself. And you learn that I'm going this direction because I know it's right. You might not understand why I'm going this way by myself, but I know I'm going this way. And I know there are people that will be there when I get there. There will people be there behind me and beside me. I just had to be the one to walk alone first. And we have to learn to do that, especially as women.
Yes.
We need to forget that I need her so I can be. We need to forget that. And through your meditation and getting to know yourself, you will learn that I don't need her to be me. I can be me because I am me.
And you have to learn too, which is really hard. This was hard for me. I had to go through this. You are not going to fit in, and you're not always supposed to fit in in certain places. And when you've been raised in the church and you feel or you are expected to follow a certain rules of how the church operates and stuff, that gets a bit difficult because you're going against the grain of how they feel you were supposed to conduct yourself or what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Reiki teaches you the same principles as a religion does, as far as you're not alone.
Yeah.
God's with you always. But it helps give you a little bit more direction. I don't want to say leadway, but direction for you to learn on your own. To understand that you're learning the same thing, you're going the same route, but you don't have to have all these rules beating you into submission or into the certain path. It's more open, and because of you being more free, actually being free,
right,
and not being confined, people in the church a lot of times are going to distance themselves from you. But the ones that are in the church, but they have gone through their own awakening and understand and have a more serious relationship with God, they won't push you away as much. They understand that you're growing. You just not growing the exact same way they did, and they'll embrace you because they understand you're not saying that you don't love God. You are learning how to be that one with Him, to connect with Him. You're learning that. So they won't push you away. But the others that like to just do it for show and they're in religious bondage, they're going to push away from you. And you have to understand it, and don't be so upset about it. Right. Just know it's going to happen, and just be ready. And when it happens, don't be mad at them. Still love them, still pray for them, but keep on moving. And if they're supposed to be a part of your journey, and it's going to be family too, you know, if they're still supposed to be a part of your journey and what you're supposed to do, then they'll have their place and they'll come back in and wherever they're supposed to be. Don't hinder your growth as a wonderful, beautiful being that you're supposed to be because of somebody else's rules and hang-ups. Don't do it. Be strong enough and be free enough. Understand what freedom is. Understand the word free and freedom, and really understand what that is, and be willing to do it. And when you're willing to do it, also too, you got to look back at you. You're going to look at yourself a lot and see. You're not just what other people do to you, but what you've allowed to happen and what you've done to yourself. And you can't be afraid of that. You're going to have to look at all of that to really be free. But don't be afraid and don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of yourself.